Most people treat backtesting like a highlight reel. They would scroll through past charts and then they find a massive move that's already happened. And then they would just tell themselves, yeah, I would have caught that trade for sure. And that's exactly why you're not seeing any results. Backtesting isn't about finding winning trades in the past. It's about proving your discipline in real time. So if you don't have a standardized way to filter a valid trade, you're just going to be practicing hindsight bias and you're not even practicing a strategy anymore. And so in this video, I'm going to be taking you through my process for February 26th and 27th on NQ. I'm going to show you exactly how I apply my foundation, which is just aligning that higher time frame narrative with the lower time frame execution to see if a setup, if it does occur, is even valid or not. And then we're going to be walking through these sessions candle by candle so that you can see the reality of waiting for a higher probability entry. And then at the end, I'm going to show you the exact checklist and journal that I use to grade these trades. Because if you're not measuring your executions and trades, then you're just going to be wasting your time. And so without further ado, let's just get into the charts. All right, welcome to today's basically backtesting, right? So today is the 26th of February, and before that, I also want to say before every trade, what do you always want to do? You want to find out your pre-market bias. So coming to the day, I was bearish, and actually I was actually like a little bit of both. So I had sort of a neutral standpoint. And the only reason that I had that is because we still had this end dog above us on NQ where I could see us sweeping higher, taking it out, and then possibly going lower. And then what do we have on our bearish side, right? We had tons of low resistance liquidity waiting to be taken out, right? So that's kind of my reasoning of like, okay, well, where do we want to go? So from there, I also set up this 15-minute condition. And in a way, when we are neutral, right, and even in bullish and bearish scenarios where we're like highly convicted in one direction or the other, we still want to set conditions for ourselves, which helps with our entry and among other things, setting up our systems. So what do I have? This condition of this 15-minute, if price invalidates it, we are going to be trading lower. If price respects it, we're going to be trading higher. And what do we end up seeing? Price does end up trading lower, right? Or sorry, trading higher. But then what do we do? And what do we end up seeing coming into market open? We see price invalidate this 15-minute gap. I believe this, yep. Price invalidates this 15-minute gap. So I do want to be bearish for the day. ES also managed to sweep out this end dog already, right? Right here, as you can see. This end dog was already taken out by ES. So let's just go right into market open, see what price does. And yeah, that sucks actually. But basically, our draw on liquidity was bearish. We had a lot of low resistance, and I wanted to see all of it taken out. Fortunately, price came and it ended up taking it out. But I also want to note that you want to look at the displacement of the candles that open at specific intervals. So like 9:30 a.m. open candle is a very important candle because it shows you the direction of price action, right? So in this way, we saw big displacement lower, right? And what do we end up doing? We end up invalidating a bunch of gaps, right? So like 9:30 opens and it closes right below all of these bearish gaps below, right? So from there, I kind of want to be fully bearish for the day, despite the fact of also looking at what we're bouncing off of, right? This 4-hour gap, or sorry, this hourly gap, this 4-hour gap, as well as this, I believe it was a 15-minute gap too. Yep, 15-minute hourly intermediate low, or 15-minute intermediate low got swept into. So a bunch of these bullish confluences are getting swept into. How are we seeing price react off of it? Well, let's see. Yeah, no, that sucks. We end up trading lower. We don't really get anything out of it, essentially, right? So I also have this sell side below us, right, to kind of see where we are reacting off of. I don't know what this is. Ignore this. Just gonna delete this really quick. It's an error, but whatever. So what do we end up seeing, right? Price trades lower. And then do we sweep into any type of gap? Well, yeah, right? We sweep into this 15-minute right here. Right? We also left a 15-minute gap above us. And then what do we also do? And actually, this should be for this 5-minute. And they just ignore what just happened. But essentially, right? Coming into here, what do we end up doing, right? We end up sweeping inside of this gap, right? Right here. hourly gap got swept into, 30-minute gap got swept into, 15-minute intermediate low, right? Very important, got swept into. And then did we react off of it? Well, yeah, as you can see here, right? Price ends up sweeping lower, and then we create a 5-minute gap above, right? And then what do we end up doing? We end up sweeping into it, sweeping out this sell side, right? Further intermediate low, internal, you could say. And then we created this inversion to the upside. So after being bearish for so long, right? Finally, we have an inversion that has good displacement, right? Good body. So I'm willing to honestly take this right now and just target that unfilled 5 above. And it's right at a 1-to-1, which is great. My conviction for this is the fact that we just swept into a PD array, right? 30-minute hourly, and we also swept some kind of 15-minute internal low, right? Or an intermediate low, right? This 15-minute intermediate low got swept into. Perfect, right? And I'll mark this out for y'all. There we go. So, and then what do we get on ES? We also have some kind of manipulation right here, right? 15-minute got swept into as well. So perfect, we have manipulation on both pairs. And it looks like we are also respecting it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to press enter, right? I'm going to enter on this trade. And realistically, it's going to be worth a lot more because we're trading on the actual NASDAQ, but I usually do micros. Micros, 0.5% to 1% a day. And that's with the 50K account in total. So that's 250 to 500 per trade. That's my risk management. And typically when you want to trade and backtest, just only do one of them at a time. But yeah, essentially, let's just basically just do it. See if I actually, whatever. All right, and so essentially just enter, move, and move. Ignore this. Imagine price isn't like that, but yeah. So then what do we get, right? Well, let's see. And bang, sucks. Sucks. It does. But essentially, what do we also see after that? Price comes and sweeps into our target almost immediately after. All right, what is this? This is a stop rate, essentially. I basically just got stop rated. You know what? This is a setup that I would take 100% of the time. There's no other reason for us to see that, hey, we ended up sweeping into this 15-minute intermediate low, this hourly intermediate low, and this 4-hour intermediate low, right? So from there, right, what do we see after being bearish for so long? We see a 1-minute inversion, right? And then from there, what do? We enter, and then, yeah, that's it. There's literally no other reason to want to not enter this trade. Yeah, it ended in a loss, whatever. I don't care. What I took was that this trade was valid, but it was just simply probability playing out. There was probably a 30-second in here, and if there was, I probably would have taken it because I still had conviction that price was going to go higher. We always want to rebalance our inefficiencies, right? So after sweeping into this, 4-hour, like a bunch of bullish PD arrays, price wants to retrace into these imbalances. So from there, like, what did I want to see? Well, that 5-minute get filled, right? So 5-minute above, I believe it was a 15-minute as well. 15-minute above, yeah. So in a way, good draw on liquidity, and we probably could see price sweeping into this as well. Let's see, right? So yeah, price ends up sweeping into that 15-minute, right? We want to rebalance equilibrium and uh, our inefficiencies, right? So yeah, I mean, honestly, it really sucks. It sucks. It sucked. But valid entry point, right? After being bearish for so long, we displaced higher. And you know what? It is what it is. And I'm okay with that. You have to be able to accept the loss if it happens, right? Because this is, at the end of the day, an A plus setup. And I would take it 100% of the time. So, let's just actually get into, Friday's trade. So I'll see y'all there. All right, welcome back. It's Friday, 27th. So essentially what we're going to see here is where is market direction trending towards? We're obviously trending where? Lower, right? Looking at the 4-hour, like you can obviously see that we're trending lower. We invalidated this bullish 4-hour gap, and then obviously are we respecting it? Well, not necessarily, but we're leaving these gaps that price could trade towards, which is amazing, right? So we want to figure out what our draw is and exactly where we're drawing towards. Also looking at ES, similar behavior. One more thing I want you to know is that also wait, looking at the hourly gap, right? Or sorry, hourly fair value or hourly time frame, we are leaving these bearish gaps, right? We're trading lower, so obviously I want to see us continue the trend. You always kind of want to be trading with the trend and not against it. It's kind of like a good role, unless you can see something that we're bouncing off of. But majority of the time, you want to be trading with the trend and not against it. So what am I seeing here? Like I'm obviously gonna be bullish, right? Because, or sorry, I'm not bullish, I'm bearish. Because what is this? We're leaving gaps, we're trading into them, and then we're displacing lower. What is this? It's a good draw on liquidity, right? What I want to see, and honestly, I would just target a really good low. I want to see price sweep higher into that 15-minute intermediate high and then trade lower, right? Some kind of Judas swing. And I actually ended up marking out the sell side because one, what is it, right? It is the lowest point of this hourly fair value gap, right? So that's very important to me because this is an intermediate low. What do we also have that's in tandem with this, right? This is Tuesday, and what is it? It is the lowest point of Tuesday. So it is also a previous day low. Great draw on liquidity that we can trade towards. If it does get taken out, well, we can look for longs, right? We still have good draw on liquidity above us too. So yeah, I wanted to see what price action would do. But let's say we are bearish, right? What can we be bouncing off of? Well, maybe sweeping into this previous day low and then continuation higher, right? Because do we really have any other narrative? What could we be bouncing off of? Nothing here on the hourly, nothing here on the 30, 15-minute, right? Nothing. So ideally, those are my biases for the day. So without further ado, let's just get with it so I don't bore you with my words. So yeah. Boom, we trade into that 15-minute. Great. Exactly what I wanted to see. Now the next narrative also, ooh, pretty freaking good. We ended up sweeping into this 15-minute fair value gap that's unmitigated though so far. That's great. Love that. I want to see that happen. Now, I kind of want to see, are we going to be trading lower, right? We're going to be trading higher, right? What do we see? We have this 1 minute that opened up. See if there's a 2 minute, right? So this 1 minute fair value gap. I want to see if there's 2 minute. Nope. Is there a 3 minute? Yeah, actually, there is. The 3 minute opens. And if price does end up invalidating it, well, we could probably trade lower from there. So let's see. We're having some displacement. Ooh, but I do not like this, right? What is this candle showing me, right? We're basically rejecting this fair value gap, right? We're coming lower, right? We're so close, and then we end up sweeping out the sell side. But then what do we also do? We end up trading back into this gap. So I'm not really convinced, to be honest. And then we trade higher. So from there, right, how many candles? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything after that is probably low probability, and then we end up trading higher. Basically, trade ID invalidated, so I don't want to take anything yet, to be honest, until I have more confirmation. Especially what do we have up here? We have this 5 minute. Still want to be bearish. Um, seeing how price action is. We're also leaving, let me see. We're leaving some low resistance liquidity to the downside, and we still have our draw on liquidity still left intact. So, yep, I want to see exactly what's going on. We have this. Oh, so also, this is good. 15-minute intermediate high, right? Up here too. So there's a lot of things to react off of, and I kind of just want to see price look into exactly what we're going to do. So from there, what do we do? We also, actually, let's move back here. One more thing is also looking at this narrative. Price sweeps here. Do we have any inversions? Nope. We also do take out buy side. So honestly, I could take an entry right here. And yes, I did see how price action played out, but we always try to take valid trades every time, and sometimes, we just don't really see it. Oh, we have an SMT right here. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Perfect. Okay, so SMT right here, price trades and trades lower. And while it is a little bit low probability, I do want to see it playing out. Right? Do we have a 1 minute? Nope. 2 minute. Or we have a 1 minute. Do we have a 3? Nope. 4? Nope. 5? Nope. So realistically, it's a sweep, right? So this doesn't really count because we are also trading inside of like this is like a new manipulation leg, right? So obviously there's some kind of narrative that I want to see with it. And if price is going to trade lower, honestly, I don't know. Because one, we do have one thing that I want to know is price ends up sweeping into this gap, 15-minute, create a new manipulation leg. And from there, we also have this 5-minute unfilled above, or 15-minute top filled. So this actually is a good draw on liquidity to go lower. Oops. I can't. Right? 5-minute intermediate low. Great draw on liquidity as well. And after so long, we end up invalidating this gap below. Sweep above here. We have our 15-minute intermediate high above us. That did end up getting traded into, but honestly, I just don't see price going higher. But I might be wrong. I just want to target a good 1-to-1. Because one thing, yeah, our draw on liquidity is higher, but I do just want to take a piece of the pie, right? Especially after we end up sweeping into here and then we end up invalidating, like we end up sweeping into this 5-minute and then I can see us trading higher from there. So I just kind of want to take my piece of the pie. Good 1-to-1 is enough for me, especially after this order block right here, right? This order block, great draw on liquidity. So a little bit less even. So perfect, right? And honestly, if price does want to do that, we could trade towards this buy side and then break even at this order block. And actually, that might be what I would do. So I would break even at this order block, 1-minute order block, and then see if price wants to trade lower from there. If it doesn't, oh well, whatever. But honestly, so to recap, essentially we traded into this 15-minute gap. I am still bearish on the day because of that higher time frame narrative. We traded higher, bouncing off of, 15-minute, right? 5-minute up above here. We do end up invalidating this 5, but we end up sweeping to this 15. Created a new trading leg, and then what do we also have in SMT? With good low resistance liquidity below us on ES and NQ. Not really NQ, but ES definitely. Yeah, definitely had some on that. So yeah, and then I mean, we could see if this order block will be taken out or not. So breaking even at this order block and then come lower. And this might be an invalid entry. I might wanted to see like another like order block be taken out, but we'll have to see. We will have to see. All right, let's just enter. So, yep. I just want to basically buy at this or sell and TP right here. Perfect. And then break even at this block. And actually, for narration purposes, might do another sell. So 2, right? So 2 here. Just ignore these numbers. They're not accurate. As you know, I'm just trading on NQ, but I should be trading on M and Q. So just ignore that. But essentially, let's just see if price wants to play out. And if not, well, RIP. Can't remember if it does. All right, break even right here. Oh my God. So what I want to do is break even right here. And I actually want to take partials right here. So I want to remove just a 1-on-1. I just want to remove my position right there. Because simply put, like I could see price going lower, but making sure it's at a good 1-on-1, that's good enough for me. right? 101. And from there, I want to see if price will trade lower. And nope, we are getting stopped at break even. And that ended up actually saving us. And so this was a break even trade. Um, Pretty good on me, honestly. A little bit closer to 10 a.m., but it is what it is. I saw a valid trade and I took it. But yeah, so that's basically I'm done for the day. I won break even with some profit. The reason why I wanted to do that was because still had drawn liquidity lower, right? Price wanted to probably trade into this 15-minute. And actually I do want to see if we wanted to trade lower, but because of my like strategy and my system, I'm sticking with my plan. Two trades max. Um right? Two losses max, one win minimum. If I'm break even, right? If I took profit and then it went back to my break even, then I count that as a win because I'm still making profit. So overall, like it's kind of just what is price action playing on and how are you going to handle it. So yeah, this is going to be a long video, but you know what? It is what it is. Hmm. Basically, let's just see how price plays out and then we just continue higher. So definitely not something, yeah, lower and then I'm just done for the day, right? That's my 2 cents, right? So yeah. So from now, I'm actually going to be showing you a little bit about my journal, just a sneak peek about what I do. So yeah, let's just get right into it. All right, so this is my journal. I'm going to be basically going over a little bit into like what it is, I guess, right? And just going to go to this for example. I have everything that I need here, right? Especially the entry time frame, right? My confluences, especially what price has hit into, especially like that. And then over here, this is more important from what I have. So what did I trade on Thursday, right? I basically entered and I essentially basically did I believe it was a mech, right? So I was targeting an unfilled 5 minute, right? And price ended up trading into it. So what did we reject off of? A lot of 30-minute plus PD arrays. We came from sell side liquidity. Time was pretty good. We had an unfilled 15-minute and 5 minute target. The higher time frame inversion was what we traded. There was no SMT. We broke even, or we can break even. TP at 101. The 5 minute was the 1-to-1. All these things you can see that we invalidated. There was no sponsored high. Candle did not take 4 plus, right? There was strength towards it, and it wasn't really 10 minutes. I believe it wasn't 10 minutes before. There was no news, and we did not take a trade yet. So like with every inversion and like every trade, there's some discretion. Like sometimes I would take a trade 10 minutes if I had high conviction and 10 minutes wasn't like that bad. Um, so yeah. And then over here, fully accept the risk, no hesitation, no, did not test my position. Will I get upset? No. And is the higher time frame aligned with my trade? I had a lot of trouble with this one, especially just like after like losing so much, I realized that a lot of my trades were against the higher time frame, so I kind of put that with my checklist just to see every time, right? Just had to make sure. So, and also this is just pre-market checklist, right? Where did I go? Okay, here we go, right? I'm happy, woke up 30 minutes and I have a clear mind and not stressing about anything. And then from here, I have a lot of my imagery and structure. And yeah, so like as I was saying, this is just something, and I'm just gonna go through this slow so you can see it. This is just something that I have and I do every single day, and I literally journal everything, and I probably will after this video. But essentially, everything that I do has a reason, has a narrative, and it's exactly what I do every day, every single day. I try to fill out my journal, and I keep it compact, and I keep it like relatively simple because at the end of the day, it's all about data. So for example, right, I have something that's something like this, right? That's from yesterday, February 25th, where I took that loss, right? So this is my journal, right? Set up and validated. I have all these things, information, right? And everything. I have, even pictures of, the setup, the where I wanted what I took, right? Especially here, like what I took and then what happened, right? So, and I'll say this again, like with each and every passing day, I want to be able to get better 1%, right? And this is my mission that I always have for myself, right? To remind me that this is a long-term goal, right? And, I'm doing this for my family and I'm, doing this for my freedom with time. I always want to have time to myself and to do what I always want. Um, not necessarily like do what I always want, but to trade, never trade time for money, right? Exactly what that says. And just holding myself accountable, right? I'm a business owner and not a gambler, and trading is my business. And that's just, the way it is. And so, yeah, I just want to be real with you guys. I'm showing you this level of detail because this is the standard that I've set up for myself. But I haven't really reached where I want to be yet. I'm still currently unprofitable. I've blown like tons of accounts, and I've also struggled with the same emotions that you probably feel every day trading. But I've actually really come to realize that the guaranteed results that's found in this title don't come from any magic indicator. They don't come from any strategy. They come from the process of becoming a business owner instead of a gambler. So I'm just documenting my journey to the 1% by following this exact system. So if you actually want to see this in the long run, please subscribe, join me in this mission, and I'll see you in the next video. But I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And yeah, peace out.